My. Welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. I am so excited to be here. I am Marlon Smith, and as you know, we have a birthday.
Yes,
And listen, Michelle, how are you feeling? I mean, this is a
I'm
phenomenal
good.
time. It's
Yes,
great.
it is. Yes,
It
I'm
really
excited
is.
for tonight.
Yeah. I mean, this is a special virtual book launch.
Yes,
I've had your money. What?
yes.
Okay.
I've had
Increase,
your money.
protect, and dominate. And
That's right.
Michelle, what makes you so excited? I mean, you've known Tony a number of years. Talk to
hmm
us.
I'm excited for my friend. A lot of times you have these dreams in your head about things you're going to do, and he actually did it. He is an author now, and I'm
Yes.
just so proud of him. I'm
Yes.
just very, very proud of him because, he set his sights on what he wanted to accomplish like a year ago. And I'm like, okay. But then he did it.
Right.
He did it. He's actually published.
He's
Like, I
excellent.
have a physical copy in my hand.
I know.
So
It is amazing.
I'm very happy for him and very proud of him.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to be here tonight. And y'all, you know what? I'm so distracted right now because this chat box is like blowing up.
Growing up.
And I'm like reading all of the comments. Thank y'all so much for being here. Welcome to the Increase, Protect, and Dominate Your Money virtual book launch. We are so glad that you are here tonight. And you guys are on fire already. Tonight is going to be an amazing celebration. And I am super, super proud of my husband. And tonight he's the birthday boy. And I'm proud of him. And I'm excited because I was blessed enough to witness him birthing this project. And I know his heart when he was writing this book. And he wrote this book to help people. And, I remember there were days that he would get up in the morning and he was writing a chapter and he would sit on the side of the bed and talk about it. He'd say, I know what I want to say, but I don't know how to say it. And just, the struggle of writing a book, and the days when, there were blocks. And so I'm so proud of him for working through that. And anybody that's ever authored a book knows what that is like. And so there were days where I think that he felt like tonight was a long ways off. And praise the Lord, we are here. And God has brought this vision to fruition tonight. And so we are super, super excited.
Congratulations to my dear brother Tony, and I'm so excited for you and what is happening. Happy birthday as well. All these wonderful things happening on 2/2/2/2. What is this? February 22nd, 2022. Earlier in the year, I proclaimed this year as the year of triple blessings. That number 222 is an angel number. It has to do with faith. It has to do with harmony. It has to do with fullness and completeness. And I know that God has not only a triple blessing, but 4 blessings for you, not only tonight, but as you continue in this year. And so, beloved, if you're on tonight, I want you to know that this session, this book launch is a blessed book launch, and that the angels of God are with us and have so ordered it as it should be tonight.
So let's bring Dr. Kimbrough on the screen.
Yes.
Yes, Dr. Kimbrough, how are you?
Dr. Kimbrough.
Look, he's reading right now.
Right.
Oh man, sorry. Oh man, I apologize, man. Okay, Marlon, man, what's up,
He
bro?
got the highlighter out.
Right, got the highlighter out.
Go get this book. This book is on financial literacy. And what in the world does that mean thanks to Tony Jackson? Pocketbook can't grow till the mind grows, brother. So you got to go ahead and get this taken care of first. So many rich nuggets, and I love the title. Oh my God, I love the title. Increase, protect, and dominate. Tony, you hit a home run. I don't know how long it took you to write this bad boy, but job well done. So here we are, and you're in my study, and I am so happy and proud. I got to tell one of my favorite accounting stories, man, and it's really not an accounting story. It's a real life story that occurred to me when I was a freshman at the University of Oklahoma. Oh, my God. My accounting class was Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And there were about maybe 45 students in there. And as you can guess, I was the only African-American, male or female, in that accounting class. And I said to myself, first of all, what is a true freshman doing in a principles of accounting class? Wow. But I had to be there for a purpose. And though I started off as an accounting major. And Tony, don't get mad at me. I changed my major when I see the Lord made economics. And I said, oh, man, let me do a political economics over here, bro. But I got the job done. But I did marry an accountant. And that's the good news. I want to tell everybody out there on the hinterland, there's only three things you can do with money, okay? You can spend it, you can save it, and you can give it away. But there's only two things that you can mentally do with money. You can take money as income, but mentally you got to make it become wealth. And the only way that income becomes wealth is through financial literacy. In 1897, your prolific scholar, W.B. Du Bois, was trying to get that point across, and no one listened. He wrote a book called The Negro in Business in 1897, more than 800 pages. 10 years later, almost to the day, Booker T. Washington, he writes his first book, and you know what it's called? It's called The Negro in Business. He used the same title that Du Bois used. And still, no one listened. But thank God our excuses are over. Why? Because Tony Jackson has written the seminal book on financial literacy, and it's written by an accountant. Big difference. Now, you wouldn't go to a dentist who didn't finish dental school, would you? You wouldn't go to a doctor who didn't finish medical school, did you? And you're certainly not going to take financial literacy advice from someone who doesn't know anything about financial literacy. And thank God we have this book. So, Tony, I'm proud of you.
Dr. Kimbrough, man, I just so fired up listening to you, man, and just so inspired. And I love what you just said, because I talk about that all the time. I said, if you don't tell your money where to go, it'll go where it wants, and you'll ask, where did you go? Right?
Oh, without a doubt, man. And I go as far as my cash will take me. Dr. Kimbrough, what the hell does that mean? I got a $10 bill in my billfold right here. And that's all that's going out there. I'm only going to get as far as this $10 will take me.
I love what you're doing for our people too. And you know, I just have to say, I first met you a couple years ago at the hotel there in Atlanta. We were having a conference, and you came up and you signed your book for me, and we sat there. I sat there. I actually literally was sitting in a booth with you on one side and George Frazier on the other.
Wow.
I was in overload, man. I got the picture to prove it, right?
Oh, man. Wow.
So wow. Thank you so much. And you know, it's just, you know, one of the things is it's so important that we plan. We're so important that we plan. And you kind of touched on that a little bit. And, I talk about that in the book. I mean, it's about first, getting our mindset and our financial literacy together, and then taking action, and putting a plan together. And so
it's called the budget, my brother. That's what it's called. Don't exceed your budget. No, it's called a budget. And like I said, we are the only people to buy stuff that we don't need, trying to impress somebody that we can't stand. I ain't into that, brother. I told the story to my students last week, after the Super Bowl and the Rams won. The owner of the Rams, who held up the trophy, the Kroenke family, he brought me in to speak to the Rams. And on the way over there, and at one time he also owned the Denver Nuggets, and he brought me in to speak to his Denver Nuggets also. But I'll never forget, on the drive over there, Vice President of Player Development, he was saying, well, Dr. Kimbrough, these guys, they'll file in, right? They have practice, and please don't be angry if they're not paying attention, this, that, and that. I said, I'm not going to have that problem, because I'm not going there asking for anybody's autograph. And I know they got heavy contracts and but I'm more interested, not how much money you will make in a day, but what will your portfolio look when you're my age? It was so quiet in that room, you could hear a pin drop, Tony.
Wow.
Everybody wants and needs financial literacy, and you are setting the pace. Continue to set it, brother.
Okay, so I've developed a software platform called Blooksy. And the premise of Blooksy is you as experts, you know your stories, right? Well, in the software, we built the ability for you to speak your stories directly into the software, and it will real time transcribe your book with about 90% accuracy, right? So that cuts your writing time in half right off the top. And then it gets the ideas out of your head and onto paper very quickly. So that's the process that Tony and I followed. We talked through the stories, we talked through the lessons that Tony was teaching. And again, so Tony's stories are so rich, it didn't take a lot of coaching from me, but the software just helped speed up the process. So that's the software. It's Blooksy. It's BLOOKSY.com. It's book writing software. And eventually we will have one-click publishing. But for right now, you can go to Blooksy.com and you can sign up and start writing your book.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you his quote. I'm not going to paraphrase it. This is what Stokely Carmichael said back in 1962. He said, no Black person in this country makes any advancement solely based on his or her talent or worth. All individual advancement is based on mass struggle. We make no progress in this world without shedding our blood. Therefore, your advancement and success does not belong to you. It belongs to the people. And if you do not use your success or advancement for the benefit of your people, it is a betrayal of the people who shed their blood for you. That is what I see in you. That is how you have comported yourself all these years that I have been around you. That's why we have become best of friends. That is why I would trust you with the most treasured gifts in my life, my wife, my children, my resources.
How in the world did I get on a flyer with these brilliant, intellectually magnificent people? And I hearken back to what George Fraser taught me, since he's definitely my mentor as well, which is introduce me to your 5 closest friends and I will tell you who you are. Mm-hmm. And so that makes all the sense in the world to be celebrating, first of all, iPad, Increase, Protect, and Dominate, the book. And I want to say to Tony, all these people out here, including myself, I'm in this group, talk this mess about writing a book. I need to write a book. I need to do this. I need to do that. Brother, congratulations, man. You actually wrote the book, man. And thank you, man, so much for writing this book. It's going to impact no telling how many millions of people by just hearing some of the ideas, concepts that came out of your brain. So thank you for doing that. let me just talk real quickly about Black Couple Getaways and what we're doing. Black Couple Getaways, we're taking these beautiful couples all around the world on trips. We're empowering them. We're partying together. We're beaching together. We're relationshiping together. We're networking together. And so it's a special group. And to find out what Tony was doing, I had to figure out some kind of way to incorporate him into what Black Couples was doing. And I told everybody that I was being selfish about it, in the fact that if they listened to Tony, they were going to have more money. And if they had more money, they were going to be able to travel more with Black Couple Getaways. So I was hedging my bets to a degree. But Tony has ran classes for the Black Couple Getaways, wealth classes, financial literacy classes, and actually really, really helped a lot of the couples who just didn't know. They just didn't know some of these things that Tony has in his brain. And he's so eloquent in his conversation, and he's just a nice guy.
Let me tell you why I'm excited about this book. Tony, first of all, is a great friend. Tony is my personal, insurance agent. I have some life insurance with Tony, and I trust him with that. I trust him so much with it that I shared my team with him, so he could share his wealth and knowledge with the team. And he's blessed so many people by providing some great services. And I think the reason we kind of connected is because my passion is making sure that our people have access to, one, legal justice, and two, access to having a will done. It is amazing to me how many people work their entire life only to pass away and let everything they worked their entire life for go back to the state. And it's a simple document called a will that would prevent that. By simply getting a will done, letting the government know, hey, this is who I want to have my assets. This is who I want to take care of my kids. Here are the things that I want to be done when I pass away, right? We have to get past the stupid thought that if I fill a will out, I'm gonna die. Well, let me tell y'all something. We gonna die anyway. It's just right. It's gonna happen, right? Let's just face the fact. But why not leave a legacy for your family by making sure that the right things are in place, such as a will, and making sure that while you are living, you have access to the justice system. We see what's going on, right? And don't get me wrong, I work with several police departments. I provide legal shield for some police departments. But we also know that when someone gets pulled over, there are two nervous people. There's a nervous officer walking up to the car, and there's a nervous individual sitting in the car being approached by an officer. Can you imagine being in a situation with two nervous people and one of them has a gun? It's not a good situation. That situation could be calmed by simply the person in the car pressing a simple red button, letting an attorney know, right? Because you have Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to call your attorney, right? You now have to tap a little red button and let an attorney know, hey, I'm being pulled over. I'm about to have an interaction with an officer, and I would love for you to listen in. Imagine how many situations could be diffused when an officer walked up to the car and said, hey, before you get started, you hear a voice that says, hey, sir, before you get started, I just want you to know I'm attorney so-and-so from, this law firm, and I'm here to represent my client. I'm just listening and carry on. It calms two people down. I'm in the car feeling comfortable because I have somebody listening in. The officer realizes he has to follow the rules. Why? Because there's someone that will hold him accountable listening, right? We are protecting those people's rights. And that's simply what a Legal Shield membership does. So I definitely want you all to plug in. And I tell you why a will is important. We all think that, hey, it'll never happen to us. Well, last year, it was May, when I went for my annual physical with my doctor. Needless to say, he said everything was good. He said, Alistair, for 52, man, you're one of the healthiest people in here. A week later on a Saturday morning, I'm working out, and all of a sudden I feel a pop in my brain, right? Immediately had an immediate headache. I was on a Saturday. I took some Tylenol. Sunday, I took some aspirin. Monday, I took Tylenol and aspirin. Tuesday comes around, I'm on a Zoom with my team, and someone on my team, a young lady on my team, Ms. Tucker, says, hey, Alistair, look, with all due respect, I need you to go to the doctor. And man, let me talk to you. Let's not be stubborn. When you feel a pain or something go wrong, I need you to go to the doctor. So I was still putting it off. I was like, I got a meeting at 4. Well, luckily for me, my meeting at 4 canceled. So I said, let me go to urgent care. Went to urgent care. They ran the numbers. They said, well, hey, Mr. Edwards, the guy comes out. He hands me a yellow slip. He says, Mr. Edwards, I need you to go straight to the hospital. I said, what? I need to go straight to the hospital. I go to the hospital. They check me in. They say, hey, we need to do an MRI immediately. They do an MRI. 15 minutes later, after they get me back in the room, a neurosurgeon walks in. He says, hey, Mr. Edwards, do you have a will? I say, yeah. He says, do you have a living will? I say, yeah. He says, do you have a medical healthcare directive? I say, yeah. I was lucky enough to say yes to all of those questions because it's provided with my Legal Shield membership, right? We do that for the member spouse, and updated every year at no charge. So I already had all of that in place, but I'm still asking, why are you asking me this question? He says, we're going into surgery right now. So come to find out, they did an angiogram, a little incision below your waist, run it up to your brain. Came to find out that I had a busted blood vessel in our brain and almost had like what they looked like 3 mini strokes. And I say all of that to say this, thank God I'm okay today, right? Everything's okay. I'm healing pretty good. But it was just like that my life changed. It was just like, it was a split situation out of the blue that changed everything. And the whole fact, 15-minute between prep and surgery, your entire life runs before you when someone asks you, do you have a will in place? You start asking, did I do the right things? Did I say the right things? Is my family taken care of? And I was glad to know I got insurance because I talked to Tony about that. He's got me prepared with that, right? So my family's covered. God forbid something happens to me, they're covered. My will's in place, right? So people know what's going to happen with my assets. And meaning it was peaceful to know that however it would play out, that those that I love would be left in a good place. Here's why I love this book. So, Tony sent it to me about a week ago, and I ran through this thing. When I say I ran through it, because it was so educational. He says, look, I'm looking at page 91. At the time of drafting this book, there were 600,000 COVID-19 related deaths in the United States. With a statistical insured rate of only 28%, there have been an estimated 432,000 COVID-related deaths with no life insurance policy in force. Meaning 432,000 people passed away and gave everything they worked their entire life for back to the state because they didn't have a simple document like a will or a trust in place. They didn't create any legacy for the ones they left behind because they didn't have anything like simple life insurance in place. Here's why I need you to get this book. One, so you can understand insurance and understand money. And two, so you can get busy at getting your house in order, right? You definitely want to make sure you do that quickly. And of course, my favorite chapter, of course, was pages 103, where he talks about legal coverage and talks about making sure you have a will and a trust, your healthcare power directive, everything that you need to get your house in order, everything that you need to fully understand what it is to make sure that you and your family are in a secure place is in this book.
First thing I'll say is the vision for the Black Business School really came from the fact that I was sitting at Syracuse University and I'm teaching all these rich kids, about 30 at a time, and they were paying about $70,000 a year to be in that class. And so the Black people I ran across either were extremely wealthy or many of them were going to die in debt because they borrowed $250,000 to go to school there for 4 years. And I remember thinking, there has to be a better way. There has to be a better way to connect with more people at a much lower cost. So along comes the internet and technology and social media. So we just sort of jumped into that head first, took all my little pennies, everything I had, put it into the business. And we've been able to reach a lot of people. And so, that's where the Black Business School came from. If anybody wants to know more about it, you can just go to boycewatkins.com. There's links right there. You can feel free to check that out. Now, with that said, when you're talking about, you mentioned the PhD, and that was the hardest thing I ever did. I didn't realize I was the only African-American literally on the planet to get that degree in the year I got it in 2002 until I was walking across the stage at graduation. And when I realized it, I actually started to cry. And the reason I cried wasn't just because I was happy that the pain was over, but also I said, okay, now this is why it was so hard. Now I understand why it was so difficult, because the whole time I just stumbled through feeling like I was a failure the whole time. And so what the PhD allowed me to see is number one, the first step toward understanding something is knowing how little you actually know. And you'd be astonished by how little a lot of finance professors actually know about making money in the real world, about Black economics, and about the struggles that Black people are trying to deal with. So I had to relearn some of these things, and then also it was fascinating that once you go through all the complicated stuff, all the formulas and theories and mathematical equations, a lot of wealth building and investing comes down to very basic principles. Basic principles, So, for example, we tell our kids we have a wealth building program for children called Black Millionaires of Tomorrow, and we tell our kids to keep your poise. Poise is spelled POISE, and it stands for producer, owner, investor, saver, entrepreneur. If you become at least two or three of those five things, then you're probably going to be wealthy, because that's what wealthy people do. And so there are other little principles like that you find. And so here's where our opportunity is as a people to really not just catch up. I'm not trying to go after equality. I think Black people are special. I think that we are extraordinary. We have something in our DNA that nobody else has. I want us to win. So in order for us to really win, the big opportunity is for us to say, how do we just make sure our kids get these basic value systems early installed in them? You ain't got to teach all the details. You just set their priority systems in a certain way. And then what's going to happen is that when they become adults, they're going to do better than the children from other communities. They're not going to be preaching this whole like, woe is me, it's so sad to be Black. They're going to say, no, it's great being Black. It's wonderful being Black. Because being Black is what made me great. Blackness will be greatness. And that's what it already is in certain segments of the community. I believe this can be a global phenomenon.
So Double Vision really, Tony, it was birthed a long time ago, I would say 40 plus years ago. But it was really birthed out of just really like-minded individuals and us supporting other people. We always say we want to go where God's already working. So with Double Vision, we want to highlight other entrepreneurs, similar to what you're doing right now. It's just highlighting other entrepreneurs and talking about the great things that they're doing so other people can connect with them. And that's really what Double Vision is about. It's just like minds coming together. Two are better than one. And just really serving. I heard you say that, and that's so powerful because we use that. It's just really serving our community, our families, and just building great relationships.
With your book, and I mean, it really, truly changed my life. Just getting on the PowerPoint and watching the PowerPoint, and I remember you just letting me be okay with not knowing. And I said a lot of times people, they don't want to say anything about wealth because they've never been taught. So when they get in a room of people who do know things, a lot of times it's that shame. And I got on a call with you and Marlon. You took me through the PowerPoint. So I'm thrilled that you have the book out, and we're going to really, truly put that into our organization because it's something that everybody needs to read. But you really made it okay for people to say, I just don't know. I don't know this information. And the only way that you can really elevate yourself and get that generating, the generational wealth that everybody's talking about is you're going to have to read some books. You're going to have to get the knowledge out. Able to share. So you can't really share what you don't know. So thank you for just happy birthday, and thank you for allowing people into your space, for you sharing your knowledge with the world. We're just beyond excited for you and where you're getting ready to go in the future with this book.
Hey, y'all. Hey. I am elated. It is, oh man, just everybody. Thank you for all your kind comments. Thank you for just being here. Thank you for being a part of my life. Wow. This is an awesome day for me. God kind of lined all of this up. And, I just want to just thank my wife, first of all. And, man, what a rock in my life, y'all. Y'all just don't know, And so thank God and for, you know, blessing me with a wonderful wife and to have all of you friends and my Darlene Sudduth, my mom on my wife's side, my sisters, Donna and Irma, and my kids, Shakia, Adrian, TJ, Chris, the grandkids, Cameron, Riley, and Khalees. Man, I'll tell you what, I'm ecstatic. I'm a blessed man tonight, y'all. I'm really blessed.